Testing. Okay, hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Emily. Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell, I have acute laryngitis today, so please bear with me. I know this sounds so heinous. I probably should not be making this video because I should be on vocal rest, but I didn't make a video last week because it was my birthday, so here we are. Yeah, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. I make a lot of book video content, some lifestyle content, travel content. I'm also an actor. I live in Brooklyn. I am also a singer. My voice is usually crystal clear and beautiful. So I'm going to try to be a woman a few words today as I go through this book recommendation tag. It seemed like such a fun video to do. Steph, bohrer, I think her name is. She's a fabulous booktuber and she came up with all these questions. I'll link them down below, or I'll put them down below so you can follow along. I'm gonna get some water. Oh, it's Gatorade. As someone that's new to YouTube, like as a creator, but I've been watching YouTube videos for the longest time. Oh my god, I sound like a New Jersey housewife. For the longest time, I've been watching YouTube for the longest time. These like tag videos are so fun, and I think this is my first one, so I'm really excited. Let's just get into it so I can rest my voice as soon as possible. Okay, so if somebody were to come up to me on the street and be like, hey, what's your favorite book? I would choose The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This is like the first book since I got back into reading that I read in a day. I read this so quickly. It was, I mean, I love stories about crazy women and just the two sort of storylines that it moves through and how it ties together at the end is so amazing. I love this book. I don't know if I really have like a favorite book, but if I did, I think it would be this one, if that makes sense. I always recommend this to people. It's such a good book, such a page turner. I love books that really keep me engaged every step of the way, and that's what this did. Okay, a book that's my guilty pleasure. I would say like all of the Colleen Hoover sort of like romance books. A lot of them I've given away or read on my Libby, like my Kindle. I would say Confess is definitely one of them. The Maybe Now series, Never Never, which just came out kind of again through re-release. Heartbones is another great one. And they're my guilty pleasure just because I feel like everyone reads Colleen Hoover. People read her for a reason. I need it. Honestly too, like if you're looking to get back into reading, Colleen Hoover is a great place to start. A book everybody loved but I didn't. I think a lot of people are going to get very mad at me for this, but this book. Do not get me started on this. The plot is such a stretch to me. Like it's like a spoiler, so I'm not gonna go into it. But the plot is such a stretch. Like it's like, come on. I don't think it's that well written. I didn't care about the characters. Everyone loves this book. Everybody loves the characters. They're like, oh, made me want to fall in love again. I'm just like, I think instead a book that's similar but I think actually good is Every Summer After. It goes back and forth between two time periods, but one of them the characters are like very young and I just feel like I'm like past that stage in my life, but not even like I'm not like, I like reading about young love, it's cute, but it's just in this book I don't know, it didn't click with me. I'm sorry. And I like the old cover better. Like, why would you redo it? This cover, the old one was so cute. Please come back after this video. I promise my voice is usually music to people's ears. Okay, a book that I read the fastest. I read a lot of books pretty fast, honestly, if they're good, if they're page turners. Recently I did a 24-hour reading vlog, which I was also sick in, but I have my voice, so it's fine. I'll link it up here. And I read Ugly Love on my Kindle, and that was like my fourth book, and I just kind of was like really in a flow, and I probably read it in like 3 hours. It was such a quick read. Another Colleen Hoover book. A lot of people have mixed reviews on it. I liked it. I thought, you know, people didn't like the guy character in it, but I think that Colleen wrote an imperfect, complex male character and realistic male character. I thought it was good. I don't know. I thought it was well written. I did, like, there were times where, like, I felt like I was, like, to the girl, I just was like, please, like, just get out of this relationship. You deserve so much better. So I get that, but I also didn't hate the character. Okay, the next one is, I gave this one to my friend. A book that deserves more hype is Things We Do in the Dark. Oh my god, this book is so good. Like, twist after twist after twist after twist, thriller. The story just like drew me in so much. I think I read this one also in a day. I was not expecting anything from it. I got it from like Book of the Month, and I was like, I guess I'll go with this one. Oh my god, it was so good. I think it might be in my favorite section in Goodreads too. Definitely 5 stars. Obsessed with it. Next, a book that's becoming a movie/TV show. I could go with Daisy Jones and the Six, but that one would be too obvious and overdone. So I went with Lessons in Chemistry, which I just read. Actually, let me look this up. I don't know if they've... Oh my god, Brie Larson. Oh, cool. Brie Larson's playing to me. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. It was a little slow in the beginning for me, but I really, really love the way it's written. I love the tone. There was so much humor in it. The main character was so lovable. Her daughter was so lovable. The story was just like really, like as a young woman, I really appreciated it. I'm so excited to see Brie Larson do that part. A book I've reread the most. I don't really reread books, especially now. Like I'm just really into diving in and reading as much as I can, as many new things as I can. I mean, as a kid, I might have reread like Harry Potter a few times, but I will say this is my Bible. It is Judy by Gerald Frank. It is a biography about Judy Garland. This I've reread a few times. Yeah, there are a lot of things in show business that I think have changed a lot, thankfully, since she was sort of brought up on the studio a lot. But she's just my everything. She's the queen of my heart. I've read this book so many times. It's such a detailed account of like every moment of her life. I am actually technically set to play her in an upcoming movie about Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart called Bogey and Bacall, but that's been in pre-production for like 10 years. If anyone knows Judy, it's me. I've also read other Judy Garland biographies. I have them all on my other bookshelf, but I think this is the most like detailed. You could just tell there's a lot of love put into this book. I love you, Judy. And there's pictures. Oh my god, wait, I've never like highlighted stuff. I highlighted stuff in this. Let me see. Oh my god, this is like her singing advice to Liza Minnelli. Just because you're holding a note, don't think that the emotion of the word is over. You keep the thought going as if the sound is in slow motion and you're trying to get it over to that chair. It'll only get there if you hang on to it and keep going. You watch the note, almost as though it were a physical, seeable object. You watch it moving to its destination and continue the emotion even after it struck. You might have finished the word, but the emotion was still in you and the audience would feel it too. What is this? Discovering. Okay, I made a timeline. For life and included like 6 things on it. Okay, this is too much. This is too much. I love you, Judy. Miss you. Next, a book from a genre I don't typically read. I am like not into fantasy at all. I'm going to read A Court of Thorns and Roses soon. I've not done it. Recently got into some light fantasy with Legends and Lattes, which was also on my 24-hour reading blog. It was cool. It wasn't like a typical fantasy. It was like very like soft fantasy about this. What is it? An orc. It's like a type of creature. And she retires when fighting monsters, I think, and moves to this town that's never heard of coffee before and like opens a coffee shop. It's so snug. It's so snug. Look at that. They're so snug. If you're just looking to have like a warm cup of tea in a book, it's this one. A book that deserves all the hype it gets. A lot of people disagree with me, but The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I also gave that one to my friend. I just love that book. I love, as I made clear, I love old Hollywood. I love the setting of that book. I love like the little twist in it. I love kind of like the story of the 7 husbands and the significance of that in the book. I can't really go much into it without a big spoiler, but I love anything that has to do with old Hollywood that's well written, and I think this is well written. I love it. I think it's totally worth the hype. And if you haven't read it, especially if you're in show business, if you're an actor, young actress, whatever, like, it's just so the vibe. A book I usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation. The Vanishing Half. This is a book I read like maybe 2-3 years ago before I got back into reading. It was one of 5 or 6 books I read all year, probably less, honestly. I read it so fast. I read it maybe in like 2 or 3 days, which was very fast for me at that time. So it's about these like light-skinned black twins, and one, I forget like the exact details, but one, they get separated and one stays in, basically lives as a black woman, and the other one like is like white. I think they're white passable, and the other one lives her life as a white woman and just kind of like documents the differences between both of their experiences as literal twins. It's a good plot line too. I think there are a few twists, but it's just a really interesting way of exploring like what it's like to be a person of color and what it's like to be a person of color that has lighter skin, and just all of those dynamics. Like as a white woman, it was really, I think, an important read, and it's also just a really good book and really well written. A book that has my favorite characters. I mean, yeah, like obviously Harry Potter, but I'm not gonna bring Harry Potter into this. But Snape though, Snape is like my favorite. I would love to play Voldemort and Bellatrix's daughter though. Just saying. The one I chose for this is Marlena. It's basically about these two girls. Well, it's really about this one girl, and she has this friend that is this like kind of like it girl, like free spirit, but kind of troubled, and they're in high school, and I don't know, it's just kind of a character study, and I always find that dynamic to be super interesting, female friendships, and like where you have like this one girl that's seemingly like just has it all going on, and this other one is so fascinated by her, and then you find out that like the it girl is just kind of not really actually the vibe as much as she seems on the surface. It was just a really, really fun character study, and I don't even remember what the characters' names are, but I love them. I read this one a long time ago, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, but I still to this day remember those characters. And I think I read it because it was in Bellatrix, Emma Roberts' book club. So thanks, Emma. Surprise, bitch. Bet you thought you seen me. Oh my god, is this almost over? Okay, a book I wish I could live in. Beautiful Ruins. This takes place in present day Hollywood. Hello, I'm an actor. It takes place in the 60s on the Amalfi Coast. Hi, yes, please, thank you. There's like a bit in like Edinburgh, whatever, yeah, that's cool. It's like contemporary Hollywood and then Italy in the 60s. So if you ask me what book I want to live in, it's obviously this one. The story, I think, could have been more compelling, but the setting was amazing. It was like they're shooting Cleopatra, like Elizabeth Taylor wasn't like a character in it, but she was talked about a lot. So I had the like old Hollywood, but also like I read it like pretty soon after I had gone to Europe for the first time. So are you getting sick of the sound of my voice? Or is it funny? A book I thought I would hate but ended up loving is A Woman in the Window. Okay, honestly, there's no book that I read that I thought I would hate, because if I thought I would hate a book, I wouldn't bloody well read it if I thought I'd hate it. So, I say A Woman in the Window because I was sort of putting off reading it, and then I was like, whatever, I'll just like give it a try. It looks sort of long, and the way the text was on the page, it just wasn't very compelling to me. I'm not really sure why, but is it better when I'm speaking with an English accent, or is it worse? But I just thought I'd give it a try and kind of I was like ready to really sort of like trudge through it. It was such a good book. I loved it so much. I read it so quickly. Don't watch the movie though. It bloody sucks. Bollocks. Okay, a book that made me cry. So many books make me cry. I am a weeper. I'm very emotional. Like, I'm a Scorpio moon, you know, we've got a lot going on inside. But like, as far as like a book that made me ugly cry, Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I will insert a photo that I took after I read it, which isn't even, it was just like, like this photo is like after I cleaned myself up. I look like, I ugly cried when I read that book. A book I wish I could read for the first time is Local Woman Missing. This book, okay, the first chapter is rough, and it's not what the rest of the book is like. So if you could get through the first chapter, I really think that you'll be happy, because it really is there's so many twists and turns, and I remember I was on set and I was producing something and I had a lot of downtime because I was so ahead on all my work for the movie. I just sat down and read for hours upon end, and that's the book that I read on that set, and it was amazing. I was also really proud of myself because I called something. But yeah, I wish I could read it again, not having known what happened, because it is just so good. So yeah, that's it. That's the book tag. I hope my voice didn't deter you that much. I feel like choosing to speak for 20 minutes straight probably wasn't the best decision for me. But if I tried to do this yesterday, I literally had no voice whatsoever. So I know that I'm getting better, and that's great. I've been drinking a lot of tea, a lot of water, a lot of cough drops, that Vicks spray that like numbs your throat, amazing. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm really, really pleased by how the channel's like been moving along recently. I never thought that I would stick with YouTube this long, and I can see the monetization, and I know that like once I start making a little money, I'll be able to spend more time on the videos and just make them even more special. Like right now, I'm just really doing what I can with them, with the time that I have, not making any money off of this, but I'm really excited for when the day comes when I can really like do a full out production for every video that I make. So thanks for sticking with me. Comment below if you have any other books like for each tag, if you have any comments about the books that I mentioned, or if you're mad at me for not liking Love in Other Words. Sorry. I'm gonna go read now. I'm gonna go reread this. Have a fabulous week, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta! Toodaloo, toodle pip!